We're here at the 26th ACA Summit with Matt Polka. Matt, long day, but a very productive day. Why don't you give me some of your impressions of what we heard?
Well, first, it's the ACA Connects Summit because we've just changed our name. So we used to be the American Cable Association, but we've announced that we've changed our name to ACA, which is America's Communications Association, and will be called ACA Connects because that's what our members do each and every day. They connect and communicate. So that'll be our website, acaconnects.org, our Twitter handle, ACA Connects, my email, mpolka@acaconnects.org, to really not only reinforce that notion of connection, but really in an active way just demonstrate what we do at ACA and what our member at ACA Connects, I caught myself, what we do at ACA Connects and what our members do each and every day.
Well, and I mentioned this in a tweet about that this is something you've already been doing. It just recognizes that, really.
It really is. You know, we've been thinking about this for more than a year. I mean, a lot of groups have changed their name, and we've been thinking about it too, because we've been the American Cable Association for the last 20 years. But our industry has changed. And as I said this morning to open the summit, technology's changed. We're no longer cable guys, we're broadband guys. Consumers, they're changing. Technology's evolving at rapid paces, and the truth of the matter is we don't know what the next technology around the corner from broadband, 1G, 10G, 5G, all the Gs, you know, who knows how far we go. So that's why we purposely did not add a technology component in our name. So you could look at us and say, you're not really even sure that we're in telecommunications, but we are, because what our members do is connect their customers with the best in technology and allowing those customers to communicate.
Well, and it does go so much beyond the technology and even broadband. We heard it on the panel with Tina Pigeon, how much they're involved in the communities.
It's essential. It is absolutely essential with what our members do, where they're just so much a part of the fabric of their communities, where certainly they're providing cutting-edge technology services, broadband, et cetera. But whether it's school programs, whether it's funding scholarships, academic decathlons, you name it, our members are part of that community. And that's why when we say ACA Connects as not only our tagline, but really the name that we want to be known as each and every day, it's active because it's not just a broadband wire or a phone wire or even cable video. It's the connections we make in the community, and it's also the connections we make on the local level with our local officials in state capitals and here in Washington, D.C.
Well, and speaking of Washington, D.C., you had Commissioner O'Reilly here, and one of the things I found inspiring is this idea of the government needs to break down the silos as well, just like you're breaking down these silos, right?
It's a really good point. Our regulatory system is so outdated and antiquated because basically regulations were developed when industries weren't converged. Convergence is now every day, but we don't have regulations that really make that transition as well. So in a converged world, we're still trying to deal with these outdated, siloed regulations. So what he has done, what he's pushed for, what's happened at the Commission to try to break down those barriers, clear out the regulatory underbrush, focus on bringing companies in together by way of the service that they provide rather than who they are, that's the way to go. And we're going to help to encourage that each and every day we're here in D.C.
Excellent. Well, it looks like you have a jam-packed day tomorrow.
Well, always. It'd be nice to have Chairman Pai here, and this will be his third year in a row as chairman with us, and we're so thrilled to have him back with us. And then we'll be going up to Capitol Hill and then to the FCC to tell our story, which is Broadband Works. We appreciate what Chairman Pai and the FCC has done to deregulate ISPs because we've been able to invest and innovate and deploy broadband. We'll be talking about retransmission consent reform, a favorite topic of our members here in Washington, to reform those outdated regulations. And we'll also be talking about this C-band issue, which could have a lot of impact negatively on our member companies who receive C-band signals. And, if it's used for 5G, there could be a lot of interference. So we want Congress to be aware of it. And if there is a transition using that spectrum, we want to see those companies at least be reimbursed for their cost to have to receive, for instance, a terrestrial signal as opposed to a satellite signal. lots on the plate.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention anything about the great job you did with your video interview with Scalise. I actually had kind of this meta moment because you were there in real person, but I was watching you on screen. I didn't know which one was the real Matt Polka.
It was really a privilege to go see Congressman Scalise, Whip Scalise, last week before the summit, because we wanted to get his views about the reauthorization of the satellite bill, Satellite Television Extension Localism Act reauthorization, which is basically a copyright and a broadcast carriage bill applying to satellites, but it also provides opportunities to modify existing broadcast carriage laws. He's wanted since 2011 to basically blow up these outdated regulations like retransmission, consent, and must carry, and that's why he's authored the Next Generation TV Marketplace Act. So he is going to be literally a force as the number 2 Republican who wants to see change on this bill and to achieve broadcast carriage reform. So we're with him every step of the way. It was an honor to meet him in his office up in the Capitol, to interview him last week, and to bring his video here to the summit.
And it sounds like there might be some bipartisan support for that.
There sure is. Certainly Congresswoman Anna Eshoo, who's spoken here at the summit before, has talked about retransmission consent reform, talked about it recently. When she was here one time before, she called it a racket. She is a liberal Democrat from the San Francisco area compared to Congressman Scalise, who's a conservative Republican from, near New Orleans and Cajun country. So couldn't find two people more diametrically opposed on most of the issues. But here they both have said we need to have change, we need to reform these outdated regulations, and we're going to do what we can to make that happen. So we're going to help to create that bipartisanship over the issue.
Excellent. Well, Matt, always great catching up with you.
Ken.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.